talking about the stats, everyone knows that smartwatches are not gonna last for like long. I mean, in terms of in the market, not in your hand, in the market. So the actual it saw like decline of 51.6% in the shipment of smartwatches in the last third quarter or fourth quarter of the 2016. So it's pretty downhill right now, I think. So what you have some stats, Rahul?
Yeah, obviously, stats are very important. They just give you a rough idea about how the market is going on right now. Currently, Samsung and Apple are dominating market like anything, but there are small players who are crawling slowly to achieve a decent amount of market share. Like MI Band is there. There is Garmin. There is Polar. There is Fitbit. There is Asus, Huawei. These all companies are coming together and creating their own market share, which is a huge market share for themselves.
And they are also providing some really good options for a little bit less price point than Samsung and Apple.
Yeah, even the Apple smartwatch is the leader in the market with around 41.3% of the share in the market. So even if it's costly, people are mad enough to buy that.
Hashtag Amir Log.
Hashtag Amir Log. And after that, I think the second one, I guess it's Samsung. Samsung, even though it's like looking, it has some classy
it's
looking.
It's relatively cheaper than Apple,
but it's still a classy looking smartwatch. So
especially the Gear 2 series.
You will just find Samsung ki paisa vasool ho raha hai.
Paisa vasool ho raha hai, trusted hai, Tizen kharab.
OS is also not that bad, it's above average.
Which?
Tizen OS.
Yeah, Tizen OS is actually pretty good. Like it's stable with compared to Android 1.0 where.
Whereas Fitbit is still thinking in the range of fitness, means they are just focusing on fitness. They are not entered into the real smartwatch world where they can use.
Yeah, actually it should not. I feel like even if they increase the quality of the sensors, they will be a huge success. With now Pebble coming into their team, I think it will improve. So, but for the Fitbit, it like have fired around 1,000 employees to maintain their balance with their
those companies do it, means to just maintain their money.
Yeah, to balance their money, like after buying out Pebble, so they need that firing.
So before moving on further, let me give a shout out to Sony, who desperately tried to make and strive in the smartwatch thing by its Smartwatch 1 and 2 and 3 also, I guess.
All were flop, I guess.
But all of them were just downhill. Okay? I don't even know why they made them.
I still remember Sony was, I guess, the first company to enter into the smartwatch game.
Yeah, it was
right from the beginning. Sony was there right from the beginning.
They had that strap, Velcro strap wala watches. They used to give it with the phone.
Yeah, but it was actually in the fashion show or something. They started like the thing was Bluetooth, was connected to phone with a Bluetooth, and it gave a notification about the incoming call. That's it. So that was their first step towards the wearable technology. And then they brought all these smartwatches and it flopped.
Yeah. So moving on.
So
what are these smartwatches and fitness trackers and other wearables? What are they exactly lacking nowadays, and why did the market share drop?
The first thing which it lacks is accuracy. Like it still lacks the proper software, the proper algorithms to track what exactly we are doing. Like it should actually differentiate between if I'm running or if I'm walking, if I'm playing golf or cricket. So that it should need to differentiate.
Yeah, exactly. Currently they just detect the sports activity.
Yeah.
It's if you play something, then they detect you're playing something. They don't tell you you're playing football or cricket.
Yeah.
They are still in the moving state. They are still in the developing state, I see.
Yeah, but it needs a pretty decent hardware and best software and algorithms. And that brings us to the next point of price.
The price is very important, especially in India. अगर तू महंगा बेच रहा है वो तो खरीदेंगे ही नहीं.
Yeah, exactly.
पागल होगा कोई देगा ऐसे वॉच के लिए 20,000. मैंने दिया है लेकिन बहुत लोग नहीं देते.
Hashtag अमीर लोग.
कुछ लोग iPhone 6s.
Pretty good fight over here. So see, the actually problem lies is if the company is giving pretty cheap outside, like in abroad, if it's giving pretty cheap, when it comes to India, it automatically becomes pricey. So they need to target properly. So like I don't think there's any company starting like making smartwatches or fitness bands in India.
Yeah, there is no startup here.
Yeah, like proper startup, like even like Pebble wala startup.
Yeah. India, there are very few hardware startups.
Yeah.
That work on some
Sensors or
Sensors
other
or
stuff.
something. Yes. So that actually the price thing it lacks.
Because India has very good software companies. The startups are thinking like crazy ideas, but they don't have any hardware to show
Support
their
it.
talent. Like if you have some sensors, they can play with it. They can create anything.
Okay, that's the overall whole topic about lack of
Infrastructure.
infrastructure in India. But the next thing which comes to play in the lack of wearables is battery life. So I think it seriously, like smartwatches are lacking it, fitness trackers are killing it. So
Yeah.
we need to find the middle way out.
Yep. Because nowadays, the latest smartwatches, they last barely a day or day and a half. That's it. After that, you gotta charge it. So it's basically like your mobile device,
Yeah.
where you charge it every night. So like that only, you charge your smartwatch every night.
So what's exactly the charging time right
Charging time, Fitbit takes around 15 minutes to get fully charged up and will last for 5 days because it's just a fitness tracker.
Basically, it's a fitness
now?
tracker.
Yeah. So this
It doesn't use so much energy.
what I feel is like if they use a proper like cells and all, if the software improves, I think the charging time will also increase.
I feel that it's not related to software. It's related to the display and
Yeah.
how much power is consumed. So if you can basically invent or innovate in the display technology and create some low power displays, then it will be a very good plus point.
Yeah. For example, I can tell you about Fitbit only. The display of Fitbit is very decent. The brightness is in the sun, you can see the watch clearly. The display is always off. Only time it's on is when I tilt it towards my face. So that's a very cool feature.
Actually,
it
that's
just
not.
saves.
Actually, you can't like tell it's a face or no. You just even
Yeah,
switch
tilt
it.
Tilt it. Just
The
tilt it by
pattern
itself.
of
Yeah.
the sensors turning from
Yeah.
like gyroscope.
Yeah,
Actually, it's
three axis,
gyroscope. No?
three axis
Yeah.
gyroscope.
So
and
when the axis just turns from flat left to the
Yeah.
top, so it detects that it's like the
It's
user
turned
has
on.
turned the watch face to your face. So it turns on. So
And it saves a
not
lot of
a
battery,
big rocket
yeah.
science over there.
Well,
yeah,
I guess
but many watch companies
watch,
don't use it.
Yeah, actually they have started like
It's
पहले
an
नहीं
option.
था.
It's an option.
नहीं तो तुम लोग को टैप करना पड़ता था. देखा टाइम देखा.
I guess that's enough for the Faradays.
Yeah.
Let's now come to the future.
Good use of puns over there. So
The future of smartwatches or smart wearables, as we talk about. So, Vivek, what's your take on it?
So the actually future like in third and fourth quarter of 2016 we saw major decline in Apple's, Samsung's and Fitbits. So the decline actually shows what people want right now. People don't want smartwatches and smart bands. There are some freaks like you, Rahul, who still supports smartwatches and smart bands, but I don't think it's worth buying it. Still, I feel so. The companies really need to target those audience right now.
The future is very bright according to me
Why?
because
You just saw the market share going downhill.
no, market is going down. It's a different thing. The technology is developing. Every time there is something new. Fitness trackers is just a use in fitness thing, but watches can be used in a lot of things. There is health area. There is if you're maternity, it is used in maternity. If you're it detects what is your heart rate, how is your growth, how is the baby, and everything. It's very useful.
Yeah.
People are working day in and day out in that technology because it's the next big thing. Means a kid in your family is very important.
Yeah.
So that tracking is very
Yeah,
important.
but actually, in that sense, I would say
people
the
would
data.
spend on that.
Yeah.
People will give 20,000 easily on that.
So the data which gets from that maternity part is really important. Like
Yeah.
you can literally track like the growth of the baby. So What if you're a grown man? तू क्या उखाड़ रहा है बे? 200 steps तेरा कम हुआ, क्या उखाड़ लिया तूने? तो सच बता, 200 steps कम चला, कुछ अलग लगा तुझे?
Other than fitness freaks,
at least
other than fitness freaks, no one fucking cares about this.
Yeah, no one really cares.
it actually motivates you. For me, it's like previously I didn't knew how many steps I used to walk, but now I can see. कल मैंने 8 चला था, आज तो मैं 8 मतलब average बन गया मेरा, मतलब रोज 8 चलूंगा ही. And it's actually good for my health. मतलब doctors recommend you should walk. Otherwise घर पे ऐसे ही पड़ा रहूंगा, फिर लगेगा ना अरे चला ही नहीं, मैं थोड़ा चल लेता हूँ, थोड़ा ऐसे motivation देता है. It detects my sleep so well. Means इतने बजे सोया, इतने बजे उठा, रात को इतने बजे हिला. It detects everything.
Okay, that was some other meaning. Let's move on.
So moving on to the conclusion here, I feel that the companies, they have the technology right now and they are developing the technology right now. It's just a matter of a couple of years that we see some really good smartwatches with some really good features and at a decent price point. But till then it's just a game of patience. And if you are looking to buy a smartwatch or you're just a fitness tracker, or it's up to you, then I really feel that you wait at least a year or so. I'm sure some better products at lower price point will come.
Actually, I would like to note a point over here. All our podcasts are ending on a positive note. There has to be some podcast that like rant किया, negative point पे सब end होना चाहिए. Okay, so we're wrapping this thing up. So thank you Rahul for being on the podcast.
Actually, I was paid.
No. क्या अफवाह फैला रहा है साला? So like, share and subscribe to our TechPunTers and see you later on the next episode.
So bye.